What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Zasko.2 channel. I'm the guy going for Radiant in-game and in real life. For anyone that's new here, I'm sure you're familiar with Radiant. It's the highest rank in Valorant, the game that I play, and I'm trying to achieve the same thing in real life as well. Areas that I want to cover are my mental health, physical health, emotional health, and financial health, and all of these things are very important in becoming an extraordinary man, but they all contribute to my success in-game as well. Throughout the series, I've spent a lot of time developing willpower and just trying to get as much done in a day as possible in like a brute force fashion. The result of that was just a lot of decision fatigue, and I was just really stressed all the time, just constantly thinking about what I needed to do next because I didn't know. That's why last week I started the habit stack, and the idea with that is that I'll just start by building one single habit and then have that habit trigger a second habit and then a third habit. And I just want to get through as much of my training autonomously as possible so that I don't have to think as much and I can put more of my brain power towards learning new skills and whatever else I want to do instead of, constantly stressing about what I need to do next. Now, about 11 days ago, I started building my first habit, which was using a SAD lamp at the start of every single day for half an hour. This is just to set my circadian rhythm and give me a bit of mindfulness to start the morning. I've been super consistent with it and it's getting pretty automatic now, so I'm ready for the next habit, which I'm going to make 15 minutes of zone 2 cardio. But yeah, with the plan in place, let's get stuck into the week. 7:30 a.m. in the morning. That's the time where I wake up and get started with my day. As you know, we get straight into the SAD lamp. This was something that I introduced ages ago in like week 4 or 5 or something, because I was suffering sunlight deprivation through winter. And the reason I'm bringing it back is because morning sunlight is so important. However, the sun isn't always out here in Melbourne. And if I want to build a habit, it needs to be consistent. And it needs to be consistently done every single day. Now, the second that this habit is done, I'm trying to get it to trigger me to just walk outside and jump on the bike. 15 minutes isn't that much, and it's not at a high intensity either. I'm just starting really simple so that I can build the autonomy in my mind. Once done, my choice of breakfast is a smoothie made of oats, protein, and just a bunch of other berries and whatnot, which is very nice and always primes my mind for the next task at hand. In this case, it's a coaching session with Dopai. Would you encourage me to play for multi-frag disruptor playstyle where I'm pushed into the smoke going for 3 kills in the smoke, or would you encourage me to play the further back, meticulous, pick them off one by one, they push through the smoke, they die, angle holding the next angle, they die, I reposition, they try to plant, they die? Like, instead of the heavy brute force disruptor, based on what you know about me, do you see a definitively better playstyle, especially for the goal that we've got, which is ranked and hitting Radiant?
So I can almost say for certain what a Radiant would do in this lobby.
Hey, what a great opportunity for a cliffhanger, am I right? We don't have time in this video to go over every single note that Dopai spoke about, so what I'm going to do is briefly summarize it. But what I will say is these coaching sessions get turned into some high quality content on Dopai's YouTube channel, so make sure you go and check that out.
Oh yeah, this is the round I'm talking about where your gecko is here and we decided to go around. Like, we actively left this guy.
The main point that Dopai drilled into my mind was that I'm still taking way too many solo fights. In this case, I was playing with Gecko and then I just kind of leave him, which is just so much less effective than trying to coordinate some kind of play with the team. It doesn't have to be complicated, just being there to trade him is more than effective.
So they're coming A, you smoke this. It's like, cool, okay. And then for some reason you change your direction to go here. But imagine if you're just holding that, you kill this jet.
The amount of times where I missed opportunities to play with the team because I just kind of wasn't aware of the opportunity in the first place was pretty absurd, and it links to some kind of bigger picture problem. One that we later diagnosed as just an inability to read the actual game state and what's going on in the game. I need to develop my pattern recognition to be able to read these kind of situations and just have a set play accordingly. For example, if I've got stairs players, I should by default be just looking to play with them. We dig into this heaps on the attack side. For example, if the enemies are speeding up A, we should speed up C, and if there was a B player and a C player and we kill the C player, then we should take CT space, even though that's kind of normally pushing and overheating. But all in all, it just came down to my inability to actually read the bigger picture game and just understand what is happening and what patterns are at play. Now, this conversation went so deep and it was about 2 hours long, so it was mentally fatiguing, and I won't lie, I needed a break, and because of that, I actually decided to do some yoga nidra or NSDR. Absolute meta, just research it if you're interested. need some energy, that's the way to go. But now with my mental battery fully recharged, I ended up warming up to get stuck into some solo queue. Recently, I've been really playing to learn instead of win, so I wasn't actually fussed about having a duo to make the games easier, and I found that I was able to lock in harder when I wasn't speaking to people between rounds and just overall focusing on whatever I wanted to focus on. Because I view solo queue as a little arena for me to just practice my skills in, it's almost impossible for me to tilt in those moments, and it's just really effective training. Whatever I want to work on, I'm just able to work on it. Something that's not actually that common in the Valorant community, and you can tell by reactions like this. It's honestly just unlucky it's a 4v5. Like Reyna DC, that's the problem, it's not us.
Bro, how are you so calm? Like, I'm actually so fucking angry.
No, I mean, hey, it's on Reyna, not us, that's all. Now with awareness being the #1 priority at the moment, I've got to show you guys this clip here. First of all, becoming more aware of the sounds that I hear throughout the game, I'm able to identify a timing to kill the Reyna. Now that I'm in a really strong position on site, and I know that I'm relatively safe, my focus is now predominantly on understanding the game state and what's actually happening throughout the round. The second I hear a Gecko flash go off backside, and I know that the last player is U-Haul, I have a perfectly free timing to get a kill. Ultra aware, ultra aware. I'm with you, Reyna, keep it going, bro. With the other area of focus being team play, I tried my best to group and trade my teammates as much as possible, but I think I've still got to work on my pathing a whole lot because I'm not able to really trade my teammates consistently yet. Now, of course, I recorded these games and uploaded them to insights.gg, not only to VOD review them myself, but also get some community input from you guys as well. Something you may know I've been building for a while is the Ko-Fi, which is basically a membership costing $3.33 a month and gives you access to not only VODs like these that I post, but also a really cool Discord community where you get direct access to asking me whatever questions you want, chat about whatever you want, and just be around like-minded people that also want to grow and grind to be the best. At the moment, all the money I make from it is just going to fundamentals like bills, food, car expenses and whatnot, but once those are fully covered, I hope to invest more back into the channel so we can get some higher quality videos going. This is the best way to support the financial pillar of my journey, so the link is in the description if you're interested. Regardless, I appreciate you watching anyways, and let's continue. Now, after equipping myself with another meta smoothie, I sip on it while I smash out that VOD review. All I'm looking for is feedback on how I'm going with the things that Dope I said I should work on. Now, after finishing the VOD review and duo queuing a couple games with the team, I ended up getting some feedback by Opus on some aiming issues that he was able to recognize. The culprit being my ability to track targets that are moving in an anti-mirror direction. I was prescribed some Kovacs scenarios to help with that issue. After a good half an hour of smashing out Kovacs, it's on to our studying once again. Throughout the week, Dope hosts these group coaching sessions where he basically reviews a pro game, gives advice on the actual agent and the map. In this case, it was Clove on Fracture and how to play it, because that's something I just don't know how to do yet. Once done with that, it was straight back to mechanical training, and I kind of wanted to revisit my angle holding once again. It's a strength and I don't want to lose it, so just some isolated practice on Valorant angle hold V2, that should do the trick. With our Premier Teams practice session coming up later tonight, I had time for one more game and I decided to duo queue that with Lenny. He jumped on the ISO and my idea was to just really practice my trades and using my peripheral vision to track him as I, get myself in the optimal position to trade no matter what. This game, I really developed my ability to just be a second entry and just be really comfortable trading out whoever's running onto site. Despite our beautiful teamwork, we had a throw and the game was lost, but who cares? We actually made a lot of progress anyways. Now the team discussion went really good, dinner was even better, and I ended up just finishing off the night with some reactivity practice. One thing I just really want to get down is my ability to not move unless I'm going directly towards a target in the most efficient way possible. No fluff. I just want to react with a clean and proper technique that just gets the job done. No fluff, no messiness, Now, unfortunately, I get off at like 10:30 p.m, which is half an hour later than I'd like because I want a 1 hour wind down. Regardless though, I wake up at the same time as always and I stick to the exact same plan. We're trying to get this automatic. 30 minutes of sad lamp, straight into 15 minutes of cardio, and once back inside, I refuel with some wheat bigs. Now, I want my days to be as consistent as possible, but when I come up with a strict schedule that I try and build into a habit all at the same time instead of one by one like we're doing at the moment, it just becomes too much, takes too much willpower, and it's just really challenging. This is where I've decided to just implement something I'll call soft habits, and it's just the idea that I'll try my best to get this thing done, but it's not as strict as the things that I'm building into the habit stack. They are non-negotiable. The first soft habit that I'm going to build is just an extension off of Dope Eye's coaching. It's always from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. every single Wednesday morning, so let's just make make 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every morning some kind of study session. For today's session, I wanted to revamp the Obsidian, make it even better, make it more effective. And the way that I wanted to do that was with video visualizers. The first thing I did was collect some footage of Primi crouch peeking angles, and then the second thing that I did was jump into TDM in order to get some nice footage of me trading out teammates and just basically being a good second entry. The TDM was really good for repetitions, but it was a bit messy, so once I hopped into a Swift play and just made it my sole purpose to get a clip of me just grouping with teammates and going for trades, like, this is when I got some really good practice. Once I got that, I took everything and put it into the Obsidian and gave myself a really easy way to just visualize what I need to be working on. If you're familiar with the inner game of tennis, basically I'm just leveraging a lot of the concepts from that and finding creative ways to train my subconscious brain. Considering I really liked how this was looking, I went through the rest of my Obsidian and just found some opportunities to clean things up by just making a simple visualizer video and decluttering all the mess that I once had. What's cool is I can take this in any direction, like even my aim training. What if I got some footage of Matty OW and his like perfect static flicking technique, and then every time I aim train I just look at that, you know? Same concept. Fuel the subconscious mind. Anyways, I've been having a lot more smoothies recently, and with that I've been having a lot less salt, so I wanted to get on top of my minerals, make sure I'm not deficient in anything, get the electrolytes going. Now that I'm fully done with my study session, it's time to get grinding. It's time to get straight into some comp. The first game that we ended up getting was Pearl, and we started off with an ace, which was very nice. However, the rest of the game, I just had a massive emphasis once again just on trading out Lenny every single time, perfect second entry. And hey, after getting some practice in earlier, like, I'm feeling way better with how we're looking. City, fighting with you, bro. The second game we ended up queuing ended up being on Split, and this game was good as well. However, the main thing I want to show you guys is how much more clear and concise our communication is now. Hey bro, we're going to push screens together. One's holding us from heaven, so I'll get you to flash it, alright? This is something that we wanted to improve on last week or the week before, can't remember, but yeah, we've gotten on top of it for sure. You ready, bro? We're going up, bro. Smoke bomb. Now, while I was playing that game, a delivery came, and of course it ends up being an Artisan Type 99, the soft variant in Matcha green, the best colorway, okay? Beautiful. With it, I got some control mouse feet instead of the obsidian dots, kind of just experimental because I don't really know the difference yet. And then I also got some mouse grips for the mouse buttons because I feel like my fingers are just slipping all over the place, and a little bit more grip could probably mean a little bit more control once again. The Type 99 is just a control pad, way better for our micro adjustments, and people only recommend it if you just hard main tack FPSs. Once everything's completely set up, it's time for a smoothie break. I get outside, get out in the elements, take a break, and try my best to spend the next 3 hours just fully relaxing and just quieting my mind as much as possible. The thought process behind this is that I just don't want to over clutter my mind with a whole bunch of practice and training, because tonight we actually have our premier match. I'm treating it like it's game day, and I'm just trying not to burn out before so I can perform at my maximum capacity. Leading up to our 2 matches, I fuel up with some wheat bix, and yeah, while we're playing, you can really see the work we've put into our trades paying off. Like, every single fight was just a team fight, team oriented. It was beautiful. I was really happy. The other thing as well is the mouse pad was feeling really good. The comparison between my first impressions of the Artisan versus the glass mouse pad are just in 2 completely different worlds. The problem with that though is I was definitely distracted by it. I was thinking about it, and it's going to take me a little bit of time to just adapt and get myself fully used to it, but man, I'm feeling way better. Okay, while we were in queue, I want to reflect on a few things. Never mind. Lock in.
No, that is actually class. Right.
Besides seeing my own individual improvement, the team as a whole has just skyrocketed since last prem, which is really cool to see.
Oh my king! Oh my king!
After a successful premiere session where we won both of our games, it's straight back to our individual grind where I'm jumping on TDM. Using the visualizers that we created earlier in the day as reference, I'm trying to work on committing to my crouch peaks a little bit more. A mistake that I've been making up until now is confusing the crouch tap between strafes and then the crouch peak where you actually hold the crouch for a second. Let me explain with this example here. You can see that I tap crouch gently with the intention of throwing off the crosshair of the enemy. However, the thing is, I don't hold it down for nearly long enough, so I'm already standing by the time I shoot and the Rainer shoots. It's basically just a normal peak with just an extra step for no reason. Here's an example of a good crouch peak. In this case, I immediately press my crouch, but I don't let go until I finish taking that first shot. This results in my head being lower than what the jet anticipated, allowing me to dodge her bullet and get mine on first. This one minor detail was the area of focus for our TDMs, and I make sure that I get off at 10 o'clock on the dot because I'm really trying to take more pride in my sleep. Throughout my 1 hour wind down period, I just put a massive emphasis on stretching. This not only relaxes my muscles and just helps me get deeper into sleep faster, but hopefully there's a bit less tension in the muscles while we're trying to aim tomorrow. Now you'd think that all was going extremely well, however I completely forgot that I was time-lapsing, left my phone on, and it continued time-lapsing until it died, and then in the morning I didn't have an alarm, and then I slept in until 9 AM. So look, what that tells me anyways is that I probably shouldn't be waking up at 7:30, as I'm probably building a whole bunch of sleep debt, and there's no way that I would sleep in 90 minutes if I wasn't. I'm gonna go back to waking up at 8 o'clock, add an extra half an hour onto my sleep, and hopefully that solves that. The sleep in definitely caused some kind of disconnect between my brain and the habits that I was trying to build, as they felt a whole lot harder, but regardless, I smashed them both out and continued on to my soft habits from there. With the smoothie in hand, the study session today is just looking at the Premiere VOD that we played and just taking a whole bunch of notes. Unlike our previous days, there's no time for comp today because we have a 1 hour long drive down to the eye doctors. I got through an entire DDK podcast, upgraded my eyesight a ridiculous amount, arrived home, and got stuck into some sourdough and butter as just an emergency meal. My first practice session back was just all about, once again, the correct crouch peaking technique, and then my second practice session was meant to be on peaking and just being as effective with my peaks as possible, but you can see that when I'm more focused on my speed, efficiency, and movement, and I take my focus off of the crouch itself, I go straight back to my old habit, tapping it and not really crouch peaking. At some point though, I do realize and I kick into gear and I just start holding my crouch, make sure they get the effective practice in, and then once swapping over to defense, my priority swapped to holding angles and then falling back, and then holding another angle and falling back again. Basically terrain control. This was some feedback that I got from Opus a while ago. I'm not really using the terrain to my advantage as well as I could be, and that's something I need to work on. After getting some very effective practice down, I take a break and I get outside and do some eye exercises, and let me tell you, these things actually help a lot. Like, I feel like I can see better and there's just no strain in my eyes anymore. Once jumping back on the PC, the academy team and the main team just get stuck into some 3v4 retakes, just practicing our Lotus. This is the next Premiere map that we're going to be playing. We learned heaps about which sites we feel are easier to hold and how to hold them better and stuff like that, and it was really productive. But afterwards, I'd say less productive. I ended up just watching some pro matches, which kind of feels like a bit of a waste of time. Like, I didn't learn much, you don't gain much, and there's more effective ways to learn strats if that's what I'm trying to watch them for. There's nothing wrong with watching pro games in your spare time, but I just need to ask myself, like, do I want to be stuck watching pro games or do I want to jump on the stage myself, you know? Anyways, the night ends, 10 o'clock, I'm off and I get straight into my stretching as per usual. As of recording this clip, it's Tuesday and I've stuck to all the habits that I said I was going to build. So the first week we implemented the side lamp, I stuck with it every day. Now we've implemented the cardio, I've stuck with it every day. So it's actually getting pretty automatic. I don't even think it's like crazy. I don't know. I feel so much more stress-free already, and I've only done 2 habits. We put together like a whole plan for next week and what I'm going to do, and it's going to be a massive level up from the last 2 weeks, and the routine is only going to get more and more optimal, which is beautiful. We love it. Things are really starting to get good. Anyways, it's been a short one. If you want some more content, don't forget we've got the Ko-Fi, and I've posted plenty of VODs, plenty of random behind the scenes footage on that. And yeah, make sure you guys take care of yourselves, get grinding, don't stay on YouTube too long, and I'll see you all next week.